So guys, today it's time to try something different. We've been killing a lot of roe deer on both Cuatro Colinas and on Scotland. We have killed more than 2000 roe deer on those two maps. So now it is time to try on the third reserve where this species is also present, which is Hirschfelden. In theory, Hirschfelden should be by far the most difficult map to grind this species, and for a very good reason, because the roe deer cover pretty much the entire reserve. And you can imagine how painful it would be to grind them across the entire reserve, considering many of the locations where they can drink are incredibly dense. Especially the rivers, those are a pain to grind for any species. However, we know that the majority of the maps also have something that we call spawn traps. And Hirschfelden seems to be no exception, because the additional region, this bottom left corner of the map, seems to be a very consistent spot for the roe deer where the respawns continue respawning within the same area, which should make it possible to only grind them here using these lakes and this part of this big lake, pretty much. Some people have been testing this method and they say it's been consistent, so that is exactly what we're gonna do today, guys. We're gonna test this region, and if the respawns are actually consistent, we are gonna begin a grind here. Because imagine how amazing it would be to complete a roe deer haul here on Hirschfelden. Now guys, as always, if you enjoy this kind of content, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. My goal this year is to reach 35,000 subscribers before the end of the year, so it would really help me out if you could like and subscribe, guys. I would really appreciate it. So we're gonna start by placing this tripod right here. Look, we're currently hunting on this lake, which is supposed to be one of the most consistent lakes within this region. Look, we have a level 2 plus a female right there, another female, that is another level 2, so 2 bugs over that side, plus another level 2 which appears to be a solo. And another level 2 right here. Alright. Time to use the 2506. Nice hit, he's down. And the ones over there have no idea of what is happening, so we're gonna shoot them with the 300. There is one, also gonna kill a female. And that bug right there as well. Now guys, we're actually gonna count these bugs towards our total counter because we're counting the kills across the 3 reserves. Every single kill from Scotland, every single kill from Cuatro Colinas, and now from Hirschfelden. Just gotta make sure there are no more bugs on this side. There's only female. And just as I've been doing on other grinds, we're also gonna try to swap the solo females for solo males that are on other parts of the reserve. So we're eventually gonna try. But for now, we're gonna focus on just shooting males. My priority at the moment is to confirm if the respawns are actually consistent on these locations. If we continue getting males to respawn here, that will be a good sign. But remember, this lake is only one part of the spawn trap, which means any male we kill here could respawn anywhere within this region, including these lakes, this part of the big lake, and this other lake, in theory. Now here we have this level 2, 67.79, also this female. Hold up a second. There's another level 2 right there that we didn't see earlier. So time for the 2506 once again. Nice hit. This is another level 2, 67.68. And I heard something over there. What was that? Well, never mind. If it was another male, we'll eventually see it. We are just missing this level 2 right here. And now it is time to go to a different location. Now we're gonna go to this lake right here. I have one zone, so we'll see what's there. Hopefully something huge. There's a female, and there are no signs of any bugs, unfortunately. So yeah, time to go to a different place. For example, right here, there's another zone. The zone is over there, and there's a female. Come on, are you telling me there's only one solo female right here? I guess that means we'll have to go to a different location, but first we gotta reset the time. Yeah guys, the fact there's only a solo female right here is definitely not a good sign, because that means at some point we'll have to start killing males on other parts of the reserve in order to hopefully start getting some extra males right here, because that is the thing with the spawn traps. If a spawn trap is truly consistent, they also act like some sort of a magnet that also attracts spawns from other parts of the map. For example, if you kill a male right here, it could respawn anywhere on the map, but in theory it should have a higher chance of respawning within this spawn trap, if it is truly consistent. There are several things we have to test, but for now we're gonna go to this lake. Hopefully there are some males here. There's a female, bunch of females. Come on. Only 2? Oh, finally, level 2 right there. Level 2 with a female, so that is a pair. We're gonna shoot them both. Come on, go down, buddy. He's definitely gonna die. I certainly have a lot of doubts because there are so many places where the bugs could jump. Like, for me it's very hard to believe that the bugs are actually gonna stay here the whole time and never jump outside the home range. It's gonna take us some time to realize if it actually happens, because I tried something similar with the red foxes at some point, and man, it was very inconsistent. I was rarely getting any response back on this area. So if it is the same with the roe deer, man, forget about it. We're gonna go back to Cuatro Colinas and we're gonna complete the roe deer horror there. At least this other lake seems to have more roe deer, although only one bug once again. Now we're right here. Is it a solo? I have no idea. I think it is a pair. We're also gonna shoot that female. And something you probably didn't know is that it actually doesn't matter if you shoot the female from the pair. As long as you kill another female, the pair is still gonna respawn. We are certainly still killing some roe bugs, but I would be lying if I said that I'm happy with the current results. It is light years away from the Cuatro Colinas grind, for example. At least so far. Maybe this part of the big lake will be more consistent. I have 3 different zones right here, so let's see if we have some bugs. Well, that is a bug. Level 2, he's drinking over there. Is he a solo? Seems to be solo. So let's shoot it. Very nice hit. And there was actually second, a level 1. He looks dark, eh? Is that a common? I guess it was a common. We'll check him out. Imagine getting a melanistic on this hunt. It'll be insane because we haven't gotten a single melanistic nor on Scotland nor on Cuatro Colinas after more than 2000 kills. Unfortunately, it was just a common though. And a level 1. Now here we have the other, which is also a common. Level 2, 67.63, we pushed it. We hit him on the thoracic vertebrae. Damn. Another female. And there's something else right there. Another female, come on. At least we just got a couple more bugs. But I believe this was the last zone on this place. It was. So now we're gonna go to a different location. I think we're gonna go back to a big lake. Just to see if we actually got some response. This is the moment of truth right here. Because if we actually got response, that means this place is fairly consistent. There's a level 2. That is a good sign. There's also a female. Another level 2? Are we actually getting response here? Another level 2 over there? Ooh. Not sure if those are actually respawns or those are simply bugs that we didn't see last time. I wanna think at least a couple actually respawned here. But it's still too early to tell. Let's get on the tripod. Time to use the Arsina once again. Let's think that is a pair, so also gonna shoot a female. There's also that level 2. He's down. And there's another female over there. Plus nothing else. I could swear there was a third level 2. Maybe not. So 2 more kills. The question is, are these actually response of some of the bugs we showed earlier? Or are they just bugs that were already here? Time will tell. Well, actually, we're gonna realize the next time we visit this lake, because the next time, if we actually spot more bugs, that means they continue respawning here. Ooh, there's a level 1 right there. And another level 2. Are those respawns? I wanna think those are actually respawns because we shot one there the other time and also another bug over there the last time. And it was also a pair, you may remember. So yeah, we're actually getting some response on this lake. However, that is only 2 males. Maybe the others respond on some of these other lakes, but we'll see. At least it's a good start. We're just gonna continue shooting them, and we'll see if they continue respawning. There is another kill. And another kill over there, including the female. Yeah, apparently those are the only 2 bugs present on this lake at the moment. And that is another good sign. There's a bug right there. The last time we visited this lake, I think there was only one bug over there. So I wanna think this one is possibly another respawn. But nothing confirmed. Gonna check that side as well because there's usually another zone over there, look. Another level 2. Good. We are gonna start by shooting this one. And eventually we'll come back to see if we got the response. That is the key. Is that a pair? I think it is a pair. That'll do it. Alright, now we're gonna go check a different lake. Let's go down here. You know, the last time we visited this lake, I think there was only a single female. So if the single female is still there, that means our males are probably jumping a lot. And if they are jumping a lot outside of this supposed spawn trap, then that means this grinding method probably won't be nearly as good as the ones on Cuatro Colinas and Hirschfelden. Look at that, 2 females. 2 females and 0 males, that's not a good sign. Bro, let's go to this one now. Is there anything here? Alright, there's one male. The last time there was only single female. And this time there's a male. Is that a pair? That has to be solo. But we're still gonna confirm. He's down, and the female is also down. So another kill, and that means one of the males we killed somewhere on these lakes actually respawned within the same spawn trap. I'm not saying this actually means the spawn trap is working, but it is definitely a good sign. What is gonna confirm if the spawn trap is working is if this lake is now having males. The last time there were 2 females and 1 male, so if we have more males there, then that means we're still getting response within the same region. There is a red deer right here. Ooh, he almost hit us. Come on, tell me there are some bugs. There's a female, another female, 2 females, 0 bugs so far, but there is a new zone, look. Alright, so one of the females we saw on the other zones actually respawned here. I mean, that is also a good sign. They are respawning within the same region, but I still feel some bugs are jumping elsewhere. You know, I think something we should eventually do is to go to our locations and also shoot some bugs outside of the spawn trap to hopefully get more bugs to respawn within this region. May work, may not work, but we have to try because the amount of roe deer we currently have on this region is far from being impressive. Now, what about this other lake? We already checked it like 3 times and we know it's still getting response, but I wanna see if it continues getting more. Alright, level 2 bug right off the bat. That is good. There's a female, another female, and the pair that is usually on that side didn't respawn this time. Alright. Hold up. Ooh, there's a pair there. Perfect. So we managed to spot a couple bugs, including that one. But we definitely started with more. Ooh, there's a level 2 right there. A solo. Guys, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but the response, at least on this lake, they are being fairly consistent. Let's shoot that one right there. On the bot, that is gonna kill him. That level 1 is also gonna go down. And the female also has to die because that is a pair. Bro. Well, she managed to escape. Let's go for the one on the other side. He's really far over there. Perfect hit. Another 3 kills. Surprisingly, at least on this lake, the number of bugs has remained fairly consistent. The question is the number of bugs on this other lake also gonna remain consistent? We're gonna check it in a moment because we just shot 2 right there, I believe. And if we manage to spot at least 2 bugs on that lake, that will be a very good sign the spawn trap is actually a true spawn trap. It is still gonna require a lot of testing, but it's gonna be a great start. Let's see. There's... Ooh, there is a piebald right there. Look at that, guys. A piebald roe deer. Oh my god, look at the estimate. Holy, 88 top estimate. No way, is that actually potential super rare? Maybe level 2 diamond? But I'm not sure about the antlers, eh? The estimate is certainly promising, but those antlers may not be able to make it. Damn. We are still gonna kill it though. He looks beautiful, I love that variation. That is definitely my favorite variation for the Pibal Roe Deer. 3 bucks right there, that is perfect. I said that if I spotted at least 2, that would be a very good sign the spawn trap is actually working, and we spotted 3. So what can I say, guys? This may actually be a consistent spawn trap on Hirschfelden, which is crazy. Still a long way to go, but it's a very nice start. Let's shoot this one. Nice hit. Nice hit on the second max estimate. The level 1 is flame, but here we have the Arsina. That's gonna be hard to hit though. Oh, we hit it. Perfect. 3 more kills. I'm not gonna lie, I still have many doubts about this method being actually reliable, but from what I've seen so far, even though it's still nowhere close to be as consistent as Cuatro Colinas or Scotland, it has potential. We are still gonna have to continue killing males within the same region and see if they jump elsewhere, because if they start jumping, that's gonna be a huge problem. It's gonna be really difficult to grind here if the respawns start happening all around the map. It's just impossible to cover that much terrain, with only 16 tens. But anyway, here we have this beautiful piebald, it is huge. Imagine if it is a level 2 diamond. Look at the antlers. He looks similar to a level 3, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't think he's gonna make it. Let's see. 77.3, 32.03 kilograms, not a super rare, but it's still a huge piebald and maybe the biggest Pibal Roe Deer I've ever gotten. No way. Of course I wish it was a different fur type because I've gotten so many piebalds recently, but I'll take it, guys. What a beautiful trophy, I wasn't expecting to find a trophy today here on Hirschfelden, to be honest. Now let's see on the opposite side of the lake, because there may be more bugs, although I'm not seeing any. So yeah, these spots are being fairly consistent so far, not super consistent, I feel we're getting jumpers, but for now, I would say we actually achieved our goal on today's video, which was simply to test this region and see if it is at least a bit reliable. It is still too early to say if it is a reliable method, but I'm definitely gonna continue trying because I'm intrigued. Being able to do a grind here on Hirschfelden and eventually get our 3rd Grade 1 Roe Deer on this map would be honestly a dream because I love this reserve. So if there's a method that is fairly consistent, I'm gonna do my best to try it. We'll see.